song?
Yeah. Can you just give me like a 3, 2?
And we want to be official.
Yeah. In
And the
5,
kids
4.
come in.
I call the public hearing of the Ledyard Town Council regarding the following amendments to order. Combined ordinance number 38 and 75 and ordinance 100 into an ordinance regulating parking and other activities in town roads and right-of-ways and providing penalties for the violation thereof, as well as number 2, ordinance number 41, an ordinance amending an ordinance adopting the Connecticut Bazaar, Raffle, and Bingo Law. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Call the public hearing.
Okay. The Ledyard Town Council will conduct a public hearing at 6:30 PM on Wednesday, August the 8th, 2018, in the Council Chambers, Town Hall Annex, 741 Colonel Ledyard Highway, Ledyard, Connecticut, to receive comment on the proposed amendments to the following ordinances: to combine ordinance number 38, 75, and 100 into a proposed ordinance regulating parking and other activities in town roads and right-of-ways and providing penalties for the violation thereof, and ordinance number 41, an ordinance amending an ordinance adopting the Connecticut Bazaar, Raffle, and Bingo Law. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications will be accepted. Dated at Ledyard, Connecticut, this 26th day of July, 2018, for the Ledyard Town Council, Linda C. Davis, Chairman, was published in the New London Day on July 30th, 2018.
Public comments.
No, presentation.
Presentation.
So, Steve,
Did I miss that?
for the first one, we kicked this around forever in administration. Mostly we adopted Steve's ideas, so Steve, if you'll,
Okay, there really wasn't a whole lot of streamlining of language. I didn't save any language. In fact, in combining three, we might have added a little bit relative to additional provisions. But it puts it all in one ordinance, i.e. the town rights-of-way stuff all in one place, so that's helpful. The major points, most of the language is transferred over. I won't go over the existing language. There were some updates for synchronizing with the statutory definitions that are cited. They had changed those numbers, so we had to, and they probably will change them again and be out of sync here. But so other than that, a restriction relative to snow season. It was explicit prohibition for the removing of snow from private driveways and properties and placing them in town rights-of-way, primarily roads. And it also stipulates that residents who contract individuals for this are, by extension, liable if frequently we can't catch up with the contractor. They moving around and you never know who it is, but we can go to the resident and say, you hired someone who did this and you're going to have to fix this. Also, we have problems in wintertime, not just for people temporarily parking their vehicles. Typically, they can be cleared rather quickly if you notify them, and we do that as necessary during storms, and the police very helpful with that. Dispatch throws a call out first to see if they can get a hold of the person who's identified with that vehicle. That works many times. The bigger problem is with things that are parked in the rights of way and sit there and abandoned, essentially, in the run-up to winter, and they're not in a condition to be moved one way or the other. So we've added a prohibition of placing any vehicle or object, including trailers and other things, in the right-of-way for a period of 10 days or more. I mean, once you hit 10 days, we have the right to go tell you, get it out of here. This isn't a private parking lot. I've had people tell me they think the roads are. And I've had problems with that sometimes. But this will allow us, with discretion, to go around and clean those situations up and get those taken care of. So that when you roll into winter, you don't run into those problems in the middle of an 18-inch snowstorm, and you just have to work around it. The guys are put on their routes in advance of the season. They make a run-through to see if any of these things exist, and we try to take care of them and allow us to get ahead of them. And a provision there to force it to happen. Other than that, that's pretty much what we're looking at.
Any further presentations?
Second ordinance.
Any questions?
Any questions, comments?
All right, if I may, the second ordinance, we talked about this one quite a bit. This effectively just takes responsibility for issuing permits and hands it over to the chief of police for bazaars, raffles, and bingo stuff. It brings us in accord with Connecticut state statute.
Thank you. Public Act 17-231, as Mr. Eichelberg referred to, became effective on January 1, 2018. And I think the first time that we were notified of this by CCM was sometime at the end of December. It wasn't a lot of lead time for us to be able to take any meaningful action. Notified the mayor in the early part of January that we needed to obviously adopt or address our ordinance, which just pushed those rules and regulations back onto state statute and said, Ledyard follows the state statute. Now, the state has abdicated that responsibility and put it right back on us. The one, I think, additional piece of administrative work that would need to be done with this would be to establish the fee schedule that goes along with each one of these specific types of applications. In the absence of that fee schedule and in the operation of charitable organizations such as the Lions and Rotary and such that do raffles and bingos on a regular basis, we've just been requiring whatever would have been due to the town at the time prior to this change for them to pay that what would have been due to the town. The actual Public Act allows the applicant, I should say allows the municipality to charge additional the money that would have gone to the state, and sometimes above what would have only gone to the state under the previous statute. I think that's a matter for discussion within the town government, to see what we think is actually fair, and whether or not a club like the Rotary or the Lions, who do great work in the community, should be given some consideration as it relates to the fee schedule. They're used to paying a certain amount to the town and a certain amount to the state, and it would be a matter of preference for the town as to what the town would actually require. But in the absence of any fee schedule, I've just been requiring, at this point in time, what's owed to the town under the old statute. And other than that, it's been very successful. I appreciate the committee's work in coming up with draft applications. I participated as well. And I think we have a very professional product out there now for the applicants to look at. And as of right now, I think we have no problem. We just conduct a basic investigation, which is allowable inside of the NCIC and collect rules to make sure that we have reputable people that are trying to manage charitable games in the town. And that's the extent of it. So, yes?
I know you haven't been doing this long, but what kind of numbers are we seeing on average? How many of these happen?
I'm going to say probably no more than 10 a year.
Okay.
And some of them have a certain timeline that they can do it. It's a 60-day event, or it's a 30-day event, or it's a one-time event. So
Yeah.
if they do more of them during the course of the calendar year, the same organization might do 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
So I would say probably about 10 a year. So-
And Christmas coming up, a lot of the churches do bazaars and raffles and.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other comments?
I have one comment. This is actually to the first ordinance, and it's more of just an editorial. I'm looking at it again real quick. New section 4, paragraph A, 4th line. You need to put Director of Public Works.
This is Director of Works.
Okay,
That's minor editorial.
Thank you.
catch.
We left that there specifically. We left that for you, Kevin.
I found it.
Good job. Anything else? Not hearing anything else? This meeting is adjourned.